Hey, hello, bonjour. Today I was inspired by this bag I made with my scrap yarn to make a beanie. But I could not just make some basic beanie. I had to spice it up a little, so I'm doing a rat tail beanie. Let's go. I got the line up and I immediately changed the colors because there's not a lot of everything. So I need to stretch where I can stretch. So the first thing I did was use this base yarn to make a 60 single crochet chain. And then I added this navy blue furry yarn on top using double crochet. And the way I'm doing this beanie is I'm just going all the way around in a circle, and then at the end I'm going to single crochet the top, and it's going to be like a cat ear beanie. So a cat ear beanie with a rat tail. You see what I'm doing there? I'm being innovative. I am innovating. So I'm just chugging away, chugging away until I finish this first color. I was getting a little bit worried because, as you can see, this blue yarn is about to run out, but I had just enough to go around. And then I saved this excess to be used in the braids that I'm going to attach for the rat tail. And I'm just going to put those to the side so you'll see them accumulate. And then I finished this first round, and so now I'm going in with the second color. And the second color, I'm putting together this funky yarn with this teal yarn. Again, we need to stretch her out, and I do want my head to actually be warm, so I can't just do this little decorative one. I was not sure how these colors were going to end up together, but it's super cute. Actually, I quite like it. But it was so hard and so annoying to keep them together, to keep them from bunching up and knotting up with each other. But you know what? I pulled through. You know, I am a soldier, I'm a survivor, I'm a fighter, and I really pulled through on this one. Just keep going, even when the odds are against you. Just keep fighting. Don't let any obstacles get in your way. And as you can see, I prevailed, and so too can you. Now that I'm finishing this row up and our time has come to an end together, I am going in with this blue aqua color that I didn't even know I had for the last project. So she's sort of a special edition here, but it was not a lot again. Not a lot. I'm not spoiled for option here, and she was just a big ball of tangle, of mess. So I would just pull out as much as I could until I hit another tangle, and I would immediately stop, crochet as much as I could, save the problem for later, and then eventually later would come. That was the really sad and tragic part. Later would come, and there would be another knot, and I would have to go through and untangle it again. But as you can see, as you can learn more and more about me, I'm a fighter, I'm a survivor, and I keep going. And here I am, almost about to finish this third row, and there's like just enough yarn to go around. And as you can see in the left hand corner, I think it will be left for you, those areas I am collecting the yarn for the braid. So I'm going to do 2 little rat tails in the back, and I want them to have all of the yarn colors in them, or at least as many as I can get. Finally, some things are starting to happen. It's coming together. There is certainly a shape that proves a hat could come from this nonsense that I am doing. I'm on the 4th row. I have my next furry yarn which is blue and purple and green. And because I have this purple, I'm going to add in another purple fur yarn, since I do not have a lot of the other ones I used for my bag. But I think it will work with this purple, and it's like sort of in the bluish family. I'm like, right? But as you can tell, I just had enough to finish that row. So unfortunately, this colorful one will not make it to the braid, but it still looks so cute, right? Right. Then I'm going in with this navy color, and she's a little furry too. And so this row begins. One row ends, and soon shall another begin. And this time it's navy girl. So I go through navy, and somehow I was not worried about navy at all. I was just having the time of my life, probably watching some TV, and then all of a sudden, boom bam, navy runs out. Like, girl, why are you trying to cause problems? That was actually crazy. I thought navy was in this with me, but I guess not. So I just had to go in and compare some different colors, see what I could use to fill that space. And really, my yarn is limited, and I'm not about to go buy a whole skein of yarn. That's not gonna happen. So I just decided to use this blue one and fill in that space, and then do another row on top of it, so it looks a little more cohesive. You know what I'm saying? I did not intend to use this yarn because it's not as soft and I need to be warm. I mean, I'm going through a very frigid winter right now, but I guess I might just get a little breeze on my forehead. We shall see. Now, at this point, I realized that the 9 skeins of yarn that I had set out would not even be kind of enough to cover my head. So I started going back in with some colors, and I used this tealy green and this fancy yarn again, because I feel like it's really one of the brightest colors that I have, and it's not just another blue that sort of gets lost in the mix. So I went back with it. What am I now on? Like my 6th row? Yes. Yeah, that's my 6th row. So I did all of that, and then I finished her off, and we're off to the next color. And this next color, exciting. A new baddie has entered the villa, something like that. And we're using the purple fur. She's not featured in the blue aquamarine bag, but she can add some intrigue here. And since we don't have a lot of other colors, we need some colors. So I thought the purple would be good, add a little different pop. They are sisters, not twins, you know. I quite like working with these more unconventional yarns because it just adds some texture, girl. Texture, a little more fun. It doesn't just look like any beanie that you can go get from any store. It's interesting, and I like that. I like being the cool girl, you know what I'm saying? Super cool girl. And after this purple, I have no idea what happened here, but this blue skein of yarn just had a completely different blue color inside of it, like in the inner rings. But in order to stretch it out a little, I just took that inside part out. So essentially I crocheted a row with the bottom, and then I went back and crocheted a row with the top, because the bottom it was more heavy on black, whereas the blue top is like blue with just a little bit of black. So I kind of like that, and it created a cute little gradient. But I noticed it started to get really dark again, and I don't really have any light colors left. So you know what that means, girl. Yes. It's time to go back in with this baddie. She really held down the fort. She really came through when everyone needed her. She's the MVP, and I'm so proud of her and how far she's come. Now, would you look at that? She's so cute. She's really coming together. I only have a few more rows now, and as you can tell, the lighting has changed. It's getting dark. It's no longer a beautiful sunny day. It is now a dark nighttime. A dark, deep dark nighttime. So I had to come in with the artificial lights. I'm so sorry. Don't hate me. I had to do what I had to do. By this time, my hand was starting to burn, getting that carpal tunnel real good. And this was a real tragedy. I wanted to skip over it because of the tragedy of the trauma that I still feel. So I went back in with a purple furry yarn, but I did not have enough to go all the way around. So I had to go through all my yarns to find anything that would work. And clearly I had nothing that would work. So I had to use this blue and purple gradient because it was the closest thing that I had that could match. But honestly, I'm just gonna put that in the back so I don't have to think about it. I won't know about it. If it's in the back, it really cannot faze me. It cannot comfort me. It cannot affect my mental health and mental stability. And then again, I went back in with this navy blue that was not as thick, but I needed a color. And then I ran out of that too, girl. So I had to go get some other yarn that didn't really fit. But you know what? It's the back. It's the back. The back has nothing to do with me. I made the front so I could look at the front. And that's what matters. So if you really think about it, it's actually like perfect, right? So at this point, I tried it on and it was like the exact height that I wanted it to be. So I went in with this last row. Of course, my girl Teal is holding it down. So I went back in, and then all you had to do to make a cat beanie, I've never made a cat beanie ever before in my whole entire life, is just do this like circle and then do single crochet connecting the front and back panel, and that's really it. And so this was a little hard because I had 2 layers of yarn, so it was a little thick. You know, it's about 2-3 C's on that thick, but still it was quite easy and I love it. That's the finished project of just the cat beanie itself. But now it's time to give this girl some rat tails. So I just like used an approximate amount, and then I cut off these 2 little pieces of the teal. I used 1 piece to tie right in the middle of these long strips to sort of anchor them together, and then I'm going to use that tie to secure it to the beanie. And then all I'm doing here is separating 3 strands, 3 groups to be the strands of the braids, and I'm trying to make them as equal in color as can be. And then I'll demonstrate here, but it was so hard to anchor it down just at my desk. So I pushed it under these books, and as soon as I started braiding, of course, it immediately came out because the books were not doing anything. So I tried to demonstrate that I'm just doing a braid. I mean, if you know how to braid, you know what I'm doing. I'm just braiding these bundles, baby. It was proving way too hard, so after a while, I just went and did it off screen. And now I have my 2 braids, and all I'm doing is tying them in the back. I didn't want to tie them too centered or too far out, so I just sort of approximated once again. That's my strategy always. And I just tied them in with the loops that were on top, and that's it. There she is. This, of course, was the original inspiration. And now I have this beautiful matching rat tail hat, one of a kind, hard to find, rare and beautiful. I love the colors. I love how it's a little bit different from the bag, but it's still so cute and unique. I can wear it on its own. It's blue, so it can match with like anything. And I really love the way the teal came in and just like pops. But really, that's all I have to say. All that I came to do has been done, and that's it. I'll see you next time. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. Like if you like what you see, and comment if there's something that you would like to comment on, girl. Bye.